Now we're going to take a look at hook to needle clearance. The clearance is when the tip of the hook passes behind the needle. It should be about 0.05 millimeters, or just about a couple thicknesses of paper. This is very important because we don't want the tip of the hook to be too far away or too close where it hits the needle. So we bring the tip right behind the needle, and we can use a screwdriver and push against it. And here we can see that we have a big gap, which is not good. We'd probably get skip stitches, or the embroidery patterns might not come out looking nice. So to make this adjustment, we turn the machine over, and we're going to locate our hook base plate. The hook base plate is the black plate, and it's held in by 3 screws. We also have our hook attached to it, which is why it's called the hook base plate, and we can see our lower shaft timing gear underneath the hook gear. To make this adjustment, we're going to loosen the screws that hold the hook base plate. Now we just want to loosen it just to break the screw. We don't want to loosen them all the way because this is a difficult adjustment. If we loosen all the way, we might start moving things as we go back and forth trying to tighten it. Now we move it down, and by moving it down, we're moving the hook away from the needle. And we're moving it up. We can see we move the hook towards the needle, and we're going to try to find the happy medium here. And we just tighten the screws up since they're already almost all tightened, and it will make it easier for us. Now we need to stand the machine up, and we have to check it. Always check it with the machine standing up. And we're going to push against the needle, and we can see that it's hitting just slightly and making a little tinging noise. Sometimes it's a good idea to turn it around fast, because since the sewing machine turns fast and sews fast, that's when you would probably hear a tinging noise. So what we're going to do here, since it's just a slight little tinging noise, we're only going to loosen the screw on the left hand side, and we're going to give a little pressure and just push down slightly on the left hand side plate and tighten it right back up. Now to check it, once again, always stand the machine up, and we'll bring the tip of the hook behind the needle, and we can see that we have a nice clearance now. Not too wide, and it's not hitting. Perfect. Now, since we adjusted our hook to needle clearance, we have to do one other item, which is called backlash, or our hook play. Since we moved the hook base plate down, or the hook gear, on top of the lower shaft gear, we have tightened up the machine. Or if we move the hook base plate away from it, then we've loosened up the machine and have too much play. So on the left hand side you have a 2.5 hex screw, and that hex screw holds a bushing in, which is an eccentric bushing. And if we move the bushing upward, we can see that the shaft kicks away from the hook gear. And if we move the bushing down, we can see that it takes the shaft and the gear and kicks it up to the hook gear, which causes sluggishness or tightness on the machine. So stand it up, and you always want to check this standing up too. Put your finger on the rim of your hook race and feel if there's any play, and we can see that there is none here. So to make play, we go to the bushing, and we're going to move it upwards slightly, and we're going to check real quick. Now it's important never to move the lower shaft or the bushing left to right, because that will throw off timing. So it's always important when you make any adjustment to always double check timing, clearance, and backlash again. And for a final check, we can see that we now have play.